E3 2017 lies ahead. We are a mere 3 months away from a complete overload of high caliber game announcements ready to fry our brain. Last year's E3 was mostly defined by Sony's incredible barrage of AAA announcements that featured a shitload of massive PlayStation exclusives and holy fuck moments like the reveal of Resident Evil 7. Sony certainly managed to turn every spotlight on them and dominate the media coverage despite Microsoft's strong showcase, including the Xbox Scorpio reveal. Sony's showing probably was the best E3 conference of all time and raised the bar for future conferences fairly high, to say the least. Behold the many wonders of PlayStation conferences and their countless treasures. But let bygones be bygones. Each year the cards are being reshuffled and every publisher jumps in the arena once again to struggle for our entertainment.
Are you not entertained?
Sounds like a lot of nerve-wracking stress and chaos on the part of Sony, Nintendo or Microsoft, and a good deal of amusement and excitement for us. It's about time for me to make some predictions, since the speculation and hype building before E3 has become somewhat of a tradition and sometimes is even more interesting than the actual conference itself. Looking at you, EA.
We get it.
The following predictions can be divided into 3 categories. Simple logic, meaning announcements that are extremely likely or already confirmed. Heads or tails, meaning the chance is pretty much 50-50, and last but not least, wishful thinking. As you may have guessed, this list will contain quite a few predictions that fit into the last category. Without further ado, here are my top 12 predictions for E3 2017.
We called it the Traveler.
Let's start with something obvious. Destiny 2 will be unveiled at Sony's conference. While Destiny isn't technically a PlayStation exclusive franchise, its marketing definitely is strongly linked to Sony's console due to a handful of timed exclusive deals that let PlayStation players purchase DLC content like story expansions or additional weapon and armor sets earlier than on other platforms. This convoluted mess of exclusive deals on a micro level is an unfortunate trend of the current console generation. Be that as it may, the release of the Destiny sequel this year is no carefully guarded secret, so it is safe to assume that Destiny 2 will be showcased in one form or another at Sony's stage. The return of PlayStation's rage-fueled Spartan can also be considered as a safe bet. Last year Sony revealed the newest entry of the God of War franchise in the most epic way possible. Interestingly enough, the new God of War seems to be influenced by the emotional focus of The Last of Us and the more open but still linear level structure of Tomb Raider. I for one welcome these changes. I always perceived God of War as an impressive technical showcase for PlayStation, but the extreme one-dimensionality of Kratos over the course of several games had become an annoyance. You will always lose a certain amount of your fan base once you start implementing new features and redefine certain gameplay aspects. But I'd rather see Sony Santa Monica take some chances and bring something new to the table which may not align with the taste of some old fans, instead of risking the same creative stagnation that plagues so many franchises these days. That said, I think this year we will see a lengthy gameplay presentation that puts emphasis on the qualities God of War is known for. Last year they presented the new direction of the franchise and a gameplay demo that contained intimate character moments. I wouldn't be surprised if Sony Santa Monica is going to use their second presentation to showcase a giant action-filled set piece that is more in the vein of God of War 3, as a way to say, hey listen, many things have changed, but don't worry, at the end it's still God of War, and here's why. Last but not least, I predict the rough release window of 2018, so no concrete date will be shared.
Someone asked me once if I remembered how it all went down, as if it happened so long ago that anyone could forget.
Let's stick with Sony for a while. Days Gone is another new PlayStation exclusive IP and has been in development at Sony Ben for quite some time. I have nothing to base this on, but I think Days Gone will fill Sony's holiday slot. Detroit and God of War have been in development for quite some time as well, and both of these games will return to this year's E3 without a doubt. Nonetheless, I have the feeling that Days Gone will get a new gameplay presentation and a concrete release date placed at the end of this year. Another no-brainer is the reveal of Sucker Punch's game. Except for Sucker Punch, we know about the project of every Sony first-party studio. Recent rumors give reason to assume that it will be a completely new IP instead of a new entry in the infamous franchise. I also believe we are dealing with a new IP and a situation comparable to the drastic shift of Guerrilla Games. Guerrilla always was the Killzone studio and had been in desperate need of new horizons, pun intended. Just like Sucker Punch's name is connected to one single franchise. I'm sure Sucker Punch is keen on exploring new genres and gameplay approaches, so I predict the new Sucker Punch game will indeed be a new IP and either open or close Sony's conference.
Back up! Call for backup! No!
This one doesn't need much explanation. Uncharted The Lost Legacy is more than a tiny story DLC, but still way smaller than a full-fledged Uncharted game. The Lost Legacy will release this year rather sooner than later, so a trailer accompanied by a concrete release date for September or October seems appropriate. Microsoft's conference will be marked by their newest piece of hardware, the Xbox Scorpio. It's difficult to make any substantial predictions in regards to Microsoft. Scalebound was cancelled and except for Crackdown 3 we don't know about any other AAA games exclusive to Microsoft's platform. In terms of their gaming portfolio, Microsoft is in desperate need of some heavy hitter announcements, especially now as Sony is bombarding us with high quality exclusives left and right. I'm curious to see if Microsoft have surprising software announcements up their sleeves. For now, the only safe bet is a Scorpio-centered conference that reveals the price and release date of Xbox's newest family member. If Microsoft didn't change their initial plan, the release date is still set for this holiday season. As far as the price tag is concerned, I think $499 seems like the most probable scenario. Even if it's the most powerful console, it's still a console and Microsoft will have to adjust their pricing to the current console market, which doesn't offer much room for tremendous financial jumps. Okay, so far I've only discussed safe bets. Time to make a few bold statements. The likelihood of the following predictions is not out of the realm of possibility, but definitely more uncertain than the predictions I've made so far. The chances are pretty much 50-50. If this actually happens, I will lose my fucking mind. Just for clarification, Bloodborne is one of my all-time favorite games. I adore this game. On the one hand, we know that From Software is currently working on 3 different projects, of which one is an action role-playing game with a dark fantasy setting, making it reasonable to assume that said game could be a Bloodborne sequel. On the other hand, Miyazaki has stated that he is done with the Soulsborne franchise and wants to dedicate his time to new projects. Sony must be eager for a sequel since Bloodborne sold over 2 million copies and is one of the most prestigious exclusives on their platform. They own the rights for the franchise, so they could choose a different studio for a potential Bloodborne successor, but then again, the risk of it being a huge disappointment would rise enormously. If Bloodborne 2 will be revealed at Sony's conference, let us all hope it's still connected to the creative force of From Software.
Then coming in 2018 is a new action-adventure game from Visceral Games.
One should think a proper presentation of Visual Games' new Star Wars title under the creative lead of former Uncharted writer Amy Hennig should be taken for granted, but it's EA we are talking about. Last year most of us thought a substantial chunk of the conference would be filled with gameplay footage of Mass Effect Andromeda, and all we got in the end was a lame developer diary. And now we actually know why.
Ryder could find it. She has a scanner. Quick, Ryder, use it to locate the fault. On it. I'll try to get readings on the second.
I'm super stoked for an action-packed linear Star Wars adventure. I mean, are you kidding me? The Uncharted formula applied to the Star Wars universe? Hell yeah! But fool me once, EA, fool me once. Yes, I know, sounds kind of weird. Why wouldn't Sony include their most anticipated exclusive in their show? Well, we all know the game is in its early development stages and will be released in holiday 2018 at the earliest. At the same time, Sony has a shitload of massive PlayStation 4 exclusive titles that are near completion or at least further into development than The Last of Us. They don't really have the need to showcase more Last of Us 2 footage, so they might decide to kick it out entirely and wait for PSX. Not likely, but the chance is there. Now we enter the final category. The next few predictions are wishful thinking on my part, but the probability of them actually happening is fairly low.
Well, look who it is.
I know your name, but not why you're here.
Believe it or not, but last year's holiday season broke with the tradition of Ubisoft's yearly Assassin's Creed release. Since 2009 we got one major Assassin's Creed title every year, which certainly didn't result in fresh ideas for the franchise. With the exception of Black Flag, the games became continuously monotonous and uninspired. Maybe the 2-year break actually resulted in an Assassin's Creed that pulls the franchise out of its endless cycle of repetition and bestows the franchise with new relevance. I wouldn't count on it though. Witcher 3 Wild Hunt has a place in my heart and lifted CD Projekt Red into entirely new spheres in terms of prominence and appreciation. Like many, I consider The Witcher 3 to be one of the best games ever made. This is why I can't wait to see how CD Projekt applies the magic of the open world design to a cyberpunk setting. Cyberpunk 2077 has the potential to blow everyone's mind. However, just like Witcher, this project is freaking massive. And I wouldn't be surprised if we have to wait a little bit longer for our first introduction into the world of Cyberpunk 2077.
We get it. So consider this next hour to be a taste, a quick glimpse into a bunch of great stuff that we have in development.
I have to admit that I injected a dose of cynicism into this last prediction. Both EA's and Nintendo's conferences have been underwhelming or outright disappointing in the last couple of years. In the wake of Nintendo's recent console release, I can't deny the kindling of a little spark nursed with hope. Hope that Nintendo will finally be relevant again, and this year's E3 would be a good place to start. An independent and healthy Nintendo is a good thing for everyone. EA's conference, on the other hand, will turn into a 1-hour-long collection of celebrity interviews and developer diaries in all likelihood. EA definitely has enough games to create an entertaining conference, but if the last conferences are any indication, EA won't be willing to transform their portfolio into a captivating showcase. There you have it, my E3 2017 predictions. Some of them simple logic, others more like wishful thinking. In 3 months from now we will be able to see just how wrong I was with most of my predictions. Until then, I'm sure the internet hype and leak machine will provide plenty of new material for wild speculations. If you enjoyed this video, I'd like to encourage you to take a look at my analysis of Sony's E3 2016 press conference. You can find the link in the description below. See you!